Right, today I'm going to show you how to plant up an onion basket, but a Plantopia onion basket. So, a few weeks ago we did one that was plastic lined, but you do need a greenhouse for this. This you don't need a greenhouse for. Genius little things. So the Plantopia baskets, there's lots of variations of them, but these are the Plantopia ones. They're actually our customers, well actually they're the cameraman's, and we're going to use these as a sample to make up and how you make them up. Now I've had one or two people say to me that when they make them up, and the water them, they fall out. Well, no, they shouldn't. It's the most simplest onion basket you'll ever do. So they've got little gates on, little grill gates, which is great because it allows the airflow to go through your basket, keeps your roots nice and cool. It also has a little reservoir, so the drain hole is just up about maybe like an inch or so. So you get a nice little reservoir at the bottom which will capillary through the compost as you water. And it also gives you the option as well, because it's hard plastic at the side, you can drop your compost level an inch. So here we go, let's get cracking, I'll show you how to do it. So the first thing you want to do is take your gates out. Very easy, just push fingers on them, there's a little clip at top, and they just pop out. This is the smaller of the two baskets, this has got 6 gates. So we're going to put 6 plants around the outside edge, and we're probably going to put 5 up on top. So there we go, first step. Put your good quality compost. Now, basically, just dropping it in bottom. So it's going to be a couple of inch from the bottom half moon of your gate. So since I've been doing these videos, I've watched a few videos of people making onion basket, making pouches, see if I can get some tips. I have seen one that she's forcing the compost in. Please do not force your compost down. You don't want it compacting. It's perfect the way it is. So you can, if you've got any air pockets, yeah, let's get rid of them. But let's do any firming with the fingers. Let's not do it with the palm of his hand, because it'll compact it too much and the root system can't develop through it. So the base of your basket just filled up. Then you just get your plants. When you're making your plant selection, what you want a selection of sort of cascading, trailing, semi-trailing and semi-upright plants. And it doesn't matter what order you put them in, because they'll all find their own way. They're all growing in their own the environment. So some plants will go up, some plants will come away, some plants will cascade down. But they're all fighting each other for space. So they'll grow into any kind of space that they can find. And then you get this wonderful, big, full, round basket that's got trailing bits coming off at the bottom. It's got semi-trailing bits coming off at the side. It's got upright bits coming up and away from your basket. And it gives you that wonderful appearance. We've all seen pictures of absolutely stunning onion baskets. This will just give you a stunning onion basket, and it's the most simple thing you'll ever do. Now previously, when I've been making onion baskets, I always have a tendency to nip the plants. Not necessary on this, because what we're wanting it fairly mature. It is good if you've got a greenhouse just to leave them for a couple of days, but if you ain't, it doesn't really matter. You can leave them outside. So, lovely little root system. And basically just slide it in, push the neck, so the neck's at your bottom. A little bit of compost is falling away from the plant, but that doesn't matter. And then your next one, I'll just tell you what plants they are. So this is forgot what it's called, just cheap, thought it was Sanventalia, little yellow daisies, semi-trailing plant. Again, just in, so it's sat on your compost, but the neck of your plant was just in that little half moon shape. Diacia. And again, it doesn't really matter where these plants go. You can have trailing ones, you can have semi-trailing ones, you can have cascading ones, you can mix them all together. And they'll all find their own way. So that's 3. Abidden, Crimson Corsa. Again, nice little root system. It's falling away a bit at top. There's no to worry about. We're not taking the flowers off these, because remember, these are going straight out to be displayed, so they're going to get hung more or less straight out in your bracket and go straight out in your garden. Lishmachia. This is a full cascading plant, so you'd think it would look okay at top, but there's no hardship. Again, just feeding it through. There's no damage to plants. One more to go in. There we go. A little less rooted, but it's still fine to use. So if you get them like that, just nice and gentle with them. It is holding together as a compost because it's nice and wet. And there we go. Then you get your gates. Just put them in the bottom. Push it till it clicks. You can buy spare gates. because you know you'll lose them. Sometimes they will break, but they are very good, really good quality plastic. It's obviously UV protected because they've not got brittle, and these are probably 3-4 years old, so they're still in really good condition. Just one more if I can find it. All clicked into place. So when people say that they fall out, it just simply can't. It's got a decent root system, so we've used sort of semi-mature plants, not fully mature plants. So it literally it can't fall out your basket. That's just, it just can't. Right, so your plants are in. That's all it is in these smaller ones. You just have one row. So next, just cover them over with compost. So again, don't firm it. Don't firm the compost. Get rid of your air pockets, auto growing air. Now what we've done, get a little shake and just force it down. So we've probably filled that about 4 inch from the top. So what you do then is you get your empty pots, the pots that you put at the side, because it's the same size plants that's going in the top. And with this, I'm going to put 5 plants. I'm going to put 4 around the edge and 1 in the middle. Put an empty pot in where you want your next plant to go in. And go all the way around. So we're just having 4 around the outside edge and 1 in the middle. And then what we're going to do, fill the pots up. They are going to come out. So you fill the pots up first, and that just stabilises them. That keeps them in place, keeps them in position. And then just fill your little gaps. Use my hands, it's a bit better. There we go. But I'll just find your little gaps. Just make sure there's no air pockets. Don't force it down with your palm of your hand. Just nice and gently with your fingers. Little tap. There we go. Probably filled that a little bit too much, because we do want that inch running all the way around your basket. So when we water it, inch of water, it'll travel the entire way through this basket, and it really can't get any wetter. Then take your pot out, and you've got your all already pre-made, just to drop your plant straight in. So you're not messing about, you're not digging away your compost, it's going all over, you're not overfilling, you're not wasting compost either. Put your compost back in your bag, and then next one. Again, a little bit, not as much roots as probably we would like, but it's still fine. So compost is wet, so it's holding together, it's not breaking away. Put another 2 around the outside edge. And this is a really nice plant. It's a lotus. It's like little flames running down the length of the plant. It does need full sun. If it's in shade or if it's in semi-shade, it's just a pretty foliage plant. But if it does come into flower, it's absolutely stunning. And then just 1 in the middle. Again, another one that's not quite rooted as much as we like, but it don't really matter. Compost is wet, it's holding it together. Just drop that in the middle. Little tap, just to get rid of any air pockets. And that's it. It's as easy as that. It's just took me, what, 5 minutes to make a basket. Give that a good water, put your chain on, hang it. The chances of frost now is totally gone. There's not going to be no more frost. But just on the off chance you make it that little bit earlier, what you're looking for is nighttime temperatures of 3 degrees and dropping. Just give it some protection, fetch it in, drop it on your kitchen floor, take it back out the following day. And that, your plants will start turning more or less, well, within hours. Your plants will start turning upwards. And as long as you feed, as long as you water it, it's absolutely fine. But when you are watering it, don't think that your hanging basket's got to be absolutely saturated constantly. The best way to do a basket is wet it completely through and then allow it to dry off a little bit. Not too dry, but again, you're using a good quality compost. It's got wetting agents in, so you shouldn't, if you've got a good quality compost, get that firm, crisp layer across the top of your compost. Good quality compost, it does have wetting agents, so as soon as the water hits it, it breaks the surface and allows the water to go through. But again, we've dropped that compost level. The compost level will drop once I've watered it. It'll compact down a little bit. So hence why we're not forcing it down with the palm of his hands. And that's it, Plantiopia basket. And we've got variations of it. The wall basket, exactly the same principle. And then we've got some larger ones that has 2 runs all the way around. So with this, I will probably put I'll probably put 6 plants in there. So you'd have 5 right outside edge, and then you'd have 1 as a centre plant. And then you can experiment as much as you like. You can have specimen baskets, just use one particular plant in the basket. The only one I wouldn't recommend is I wouldn't do one purely with Sapphinias. Sapphinias, they're too vigorous, they're too greedy. You would never keep up with the watering, you'd never keep up with the feeding. And when it gets to about late July, early August, it would start to look very straggly because you couldn't get the nutrients in that a Saphinia would need. By all means, 1 or 2 Sapphinias is absolutely fine. If you do want to do one, it's just Saphinia, just top plant it, just get a basket that you can top plant, put 3 or 4, maybe 5 Sapphinias in, and that would be ample. Then get your chain, just make sure the chains are nice and straight, in the go. And again, if you have got a greenhouse, or if you have got like a polytunnel or anywhere that you can, conservatory, somewhere you can just give it a little bit of protection, week or so, it'll be absolutely fine. If not, it can go straight out in your garden. These are mature plants, chances of frost is gone, and that's it. There's your basket. Okay, then when you water it, if you watched the video earlier on when I did a basket that we lined with the inside of a compost bag, we watered the outside edge, very similar. Just give it a little sprinkle, just see if we can wet this compost around here, and then saturate the top. It's sometimes a good idea, especially if your compost is dry. This is a fresh bag of compost, it's just been opened, so it's retained its moisture. If you've got a part-used bag and it's dried off a little bit, give it a water, let it settle, come back an hour or 2 later and give it another water. Like I said, within hours, these plants are going to start to turn up. If the sunshine ever gets out, they'll turn up even more. That's a cascading plant, the Leishmachia, absolutely beautiful. This will cascade down. Yellow flowers against a sort of dark foliage. So again, lovely mixture of colours, mixture of flower types, mixture of leaf colours, mixture of leaf sizes. This will be a wonderful basket. If you like and subscribe, we'll take some pictures of this, or we'll take a little bit of a video and we'll show what this is like in 6 weeks, show what it's like in 8 weeks. Most importantly, I'll show you what it's like in October. In October, it'll be wonderful. And it'll still be green, it'll still be healthy because I'll be feeding it every week. So feeding is the key. Remember, we did a video about feeding as well. If you want to have a little scroll back, see if you can find that. But feed every week, water. You're looking at watering every day, but don't let it sit insaturated. If it's a miserable day like today, plants aren't suffering, the compost is still damp, let's not just water, let's not re-water it. Let it dry out a little bit. They're not bog plants, they don't want to be sat in sopping wet compost constantly. They want a little bit of a dry out, then they want to wet through. Similar to what you would if you put them in a garden. If you put them in the garden, it's not raining constantly, so they're not sat constantly in wet compost. So they'll thrive, they'll send out better root systems. And there you go, that's your basket.